bigger finishes in his locker in the last couple of months. But just chatting to both guys very briefly up in the practice room before this game started, they both look really happy to be here. But Andy's wrestling with the fact he really wants to get back into the big time. Once you've been there, you want to get back. And Johnny is trying to carve out his own legacy at the moment. So it's a very tough tie to call. But a lot of people tipping Johnny Clayton right now. Yeah,
I can see why. As you say, player that's moving or showing signs of moving in the right direction. Mentioned that Van Gerwen defeat last time out. No disgrace to lose 6-0 to Michael Van Gerwen, of course. But I recall the match he played against James Wade at the European Match Play in Hamburg earlier this year in May. I thought he played really well at times in that. He showed great resilience at times. There was good character. Again, didn't do a great deal wrong. And of course, Wade went on to win the trophy as well. So when you put all that in perspective, it adds a bit more value to it.
It certainly does, and especially when you look and criticise your own performances. You could probably look back on that performance from Johnny Clayton and say, you know what, I didn't do a lot wrong. But I got beat by the winner. So what we do is we move on to the next event and we keep that going. Johnny doesn't really make many mistakes. He's just a very good, solid player.
It's ably demonstrated there.
That's a little better than solid, Johnny, so you've just let me down, but in a good way. But Andy Hamilton definitely wearing the right colour today because he's matching a lot of the things around the stage.
Wow. Back-to-back treble ones here.
26.
Always more value in a 180 against the throw as well, especially with the first visit.
Absolutely right.
But he needs to back it up, that's it. And so far he's failed to do that, and he hasn't.
It's the beauty of darts, isn't it? You've got a 180 and then a 41, so technically it's the same as a ton and a 121, which is a little less spectacular, but looks like both players just trying to find their range.
Yeah, you see Andy there saying, come on. He's certainly not finding his range here.
25.
Well.
As we've seen in games earlier this afternoon, people have had slow starts and got back into the match. The Daryl Gurney match was absolutely spectacular.
100.
But Robbie Green had him all over in the early part of the game, but he managed to wrestle himself back into it. And we know that Andy Hamilton has got fighting qualities. He's proved it time and time again.
Yeah, James Richardson was another point. He got, he made a sluggish start against Daniele Petri. Took a while to get going, but once
40.
He sort of rode that storm and weathered that storm, he got there in the end. Came through 6-3. Clayton here, 180 away from a one-leg lead and a break of throw.
100.
And he's chopped a ton off that as well.
I can't remember the last time I watched an Andy Hamilton match and he was on 369 after 12 darts, but the important thing for Andy is to be like Teflon. You can't let it affect you. You've got to let it bounce off you and just think, I'll just put this down to a bad leg and then we'll
48.
come back in the next leg
Johnny
and start again.
80.
That's the beautiful thing about this game. It starts again all the time. It's not like a 100-meter race where everything has to happen now.
Well, he's trimmed that off nicely.
60.
And left with tops, but he will be back. Could be a 16-dart break of throw here for Johnny Clayton, who failed to qualify for the first 3 European Tour events of this year. Qualified for Hamburg, as we said, made the second round, lost to Wade there. Let's see if Hamilton can get back on track here. That bounced out anyway. And then
Johnny,
he
you require
qualified
20.
for Vienna as well.
Qualifying for these events is hard enough in itself.
Leg. Johnny Clayton.
But Johnny Clayton had a
Second
very
leg,
interesting
Johnny to
route
throw first.
to get to
Game
this
on.
stage. Took out Ken McNeil of Canada, who is a very, very tough customer. Then against Jay Foreman, and took out the informed Josh Payne
that's
to
the
qualify
result.
for this.
60.
That's the result that really stands out, leaps off the page almost as well. 6-2 against Josh Payne, who, again, we've seen plenty of him this year. Looks a real prospect, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a specimen, all right. He's as wide as he is tall. And if you're watching Josh,
34.
that's a compliment, not an insult. I think Josh has got a lot to give the game. He's bright, he's bubbly.
And he seems a nice character as well. I've exchanged a few words with him.
I like to call him the dart player with no nickname, or the man with no nickname, because he doesn't want a nickname. He just wants to be known as Josh Payne or JP.
Yeah.
But we've already got a JP in the sport in John Part, and we've got another one with Justin Pipe, so maybe we should call him something else. So, yeah, beating him is a fantastic boost for your confidence any day of the week at the moment. But Andy's found his range a bit in this leg.
140.
much better. He was on 180 points scored after 15 in the last leg. In this leg, he's on 227 after 6. That's slightly better.
It's a vast improvement.
60.
Yeah, could have done with a bit more there, but he's down to a big finish of 167 on the Clayton throw as well.
That's the perfect lie. That's the perfect second dart.
139.
Very useful
And
indeed.
he requires
Puts Andy under so much
167.
pressure. So if he's going to get back into the match in this leg, he's got to hit the second biggest finish you can have.
And he ain't going to do it. And Johnny is waiting in the wings here.
60.
2 darts
Johnny
away potentially
requires
from a
62.
2-0 lead. Is he looking at the treble 10? Yes, he is, and he's found it as well for double 16. Johnny
Game
Clayton,
shown the
very, very
second
neat
leg.
and tidy darts
Johnny
indeed.
Clayton, third leg, Andy, a throw first.
And
Game
just
on.
when it looked as though Andy Hamilton had found a bit more rhythm and range and looked to be settled down, it's taken away from him.
Well, I did say that Johnny Clayton doesn't make many mistakes. But that treble 10, if you look back at that, that was right in the middle. It was a beautifully thrown shot. And then no mistakes. You've got
100.
3 darts on your hand to get 62, and you only needed 2. It was absolutely amazing. And that'll give him loads of confidence. Shots like 84s, 62s, 78s. When you're killing those in 2 darts
140.
as opposed to 3, it just gives you that extra boost.
Yeah.
Andy's route through to this tournament took out Jason Lovett of the East Country. He lives down in Norfolk.
58.
Willie O'Connor of West Ireland from the Limerick area. And Ricky Evans of the Northamptonshire area, same as James Richardson. Was in a very tough encounter there, and that was only 6-5.
140.
Ricky's hard to beat because he is as fast as they come.
Yeah. He's been clocked at 3 seconds for, or less than that, for delivering 3 darts from start to finish. Yeah, Willie O'Connor's a notable scout there as well. He's had some good performances in Europe too.
95.
Well, Johnny, with a slight advantage here, plus these, against the Hamilton throw as well. Needs to build on that. Could do with a big treble, and he finds it with the
95.
final dart as well.
What I'm liking about Johnny Clayton's throw and the way his darts at the board at the moment is just it stays there. It doesn't wobble. It looks ballistically perfect to me. It's going in and there's no deviation. You're seeing with some players this afternoon, that's a great throw from Andy Hamilton. And boy, did he need that.
Yeah, long overdue.
126.
But yeah, you're right. It's a nice looking trajectory, isn't it?
It is. I mean, ballistically, it's great.
41.
He finds the treble 1,
Yeah.
but
Andy, you
Commentator's
require
curse, right on cue.
68.
But you set it up, Andy. You want to get back in this match. This is a lovely shot. Lots of options. That's not what he wanted.
Not
He wants
ideal.
a 13 now. But now he wants double 12 for 2-1. And it's in the
Game
corner.
shown, the
Right in the
third leg.
stanchion.
Andy Hamilton.
It wasn't perfect,
Fourth
but
leg,
it's
Johnny
there.
to throw first. Game on.
yeah, went around the houses there to get to his target, but got there in the end and takes out the double 12 for a 2-1 deficit.
59.
No particular damage for Clayton because it was on the Hamilton throw anyway. That would have been a bonus for Clayton had he picked up that leg for a 3-0 lead, but can't afford to lose sight of the fact that he's in front, got the break and playing well.
You do get the feeling with Andy Hamilton that he's really grinding at the minute.
137.
You see with people in different sports like golf and tennis, they just know they're not playing their best stuff, but they're grinding. And when Andy's playing well, he always looks to the left and gives it a big roar when he's playing really, really well. But when he hit that double 12, he looked to the floor, and that is a sign of grinding. That's what we talked about in the practice room, albeit briefly, because I didn't want to interrupt him before he went on stage.
60.
He said, you know what it's like when you're not playing your best, you just got to try. And you just got to get up there and give it your best. And you can't say that Andy Hamilton hasn't given his best over the last 15 years.
100.
He's been such a stalwart of the PDC circuit. Premier League, World Final, Grand Slam Final. You don't do those things without having real fighting qualities.
Yeah.
And at the moment, he's in a different type of fight.
Yeah, semi-finalist in the Premier League. That was 4 years ago, not that long ago.
It's hard to think
And
that his
55.
Grand Slam final was 9 years ago.
Yeah, 2007, yeah.
Where does time go?
Not recorded a win on the European Tour this year. Andy Hamilton only made it through to the main draw in Gibraltar. Lost in the first round there to Max Hopp 6-4. Didn't qualify for the other 4 so far this year. Made it through here. But with work to do.
51.
Well,
Johnny,
you know
you
what
require 142.
Andy wants to do in this game. He wants to give his girlfriend Chloe a birthday present of a win. Happy birthday, Chloe. I know you're watching down there. But Johnny Clayton wants to spoil the party.
90.
Looks like he's going to do it on the next visit. The way he's been hitting his double so far in the match, he's been pretty clinical. Andy's game has always been about
78.
solid scoring. He's never been noted as
Johnny,
a
you
huge scorer,
require
but
52.
he needs to make less mistakes, I feel.
Yeah.
Essentially what Johnny's been doing this match. Double 8 to keep that 2-leg advantage.
36.
And that's close.
Andy, you require 120.
This is a beauty if he can keep them straight, though.
Shanghai for Hamilton to level it up at 2 apiece. It's a big ask, but it is possible, and it's definitely on the cards now. Well, double 10. He's just had to readjust and take a step back. Double 10 he wants.
Game
Well,
shown
by all
of full
counts.
flag. Andy Hamilton.
Unorthodox route to glory, but
Absolutely
Fifth leg,
unorthodox. But what
Andy
he was
took from
afraid of
first.
after the first start, it
Game
was
on.
perfect because it was in the left half of the 60. It left the bed open, but he went too high. Thank God he didn't miss the double 20 or double top, because he's left himself the double and he's hit it. Really good shot. And I tell you what, careers have changed on shots like that. Look at what he's just done.
and the arms raised as well. We see there now.
And the celebration after the 120 was very Andy Hamilton-like. He roared back into this match. And this game
It's
is on fire.
Suddenly, as you say though, the turning points are really enhanced by the short format, but when you get something like that, you can easily look back and say that was a big turning point, and they are accentuated by the short format of this game. And as you say, I mean, who knows now? Hamilton, if he goes on to win this, beats Terry Jenkins tomorrow, who knows where it might take him. It's all about getting on the road back, as he said at the start, Paul.
Absolutely, you've got to go through the process one leg at a time. I don't know whether you noticed there, we had 9 red bits in a row.
Yep.
60, double top, double 10, and 6 triple 20s. Pretty huge one there, and he knows it. Look at him in the background, he's cursing himself. He's left 162, went for a 19. It's just burning him right now because Andy Hamilton has left 20. Perfect visit, he's got to rely on misses from Andy, but if he loses this leg, he's got to put it away and get into the next leg. Don't let it affect the future of this performance.
Well, Hamilton needed one dart at double 10 in the 4th leg.
Andy Hamilton,
And he only needed
6th
one
leg,
dart
Johnny
there in the
the
5th as
Fifth.
well, and he was 2-0 down, and now he leads 3-2. It's turned completely on its head here. It's an absorbing
100.
match. It could potentially be the best match of the session, this. It's good quality stuff at the moment.
Certainly is. And at 2-0 down, you said Andy Hamilton is in trouble here because he hasn't played well, he hasn't got any momentum,
84.
he hasn't thrown any really good darts yet, but the last 3 legs he's played some very good stuff. That's the great thing about darts, and what I love about it, you just never know what each leg is going to bring.
Yeah. And just before we get too far down the road in this 6th leg, a reminder, the evening session from 7 o'clock local time, that's 6 o'clock British summer time. The action starts with one of the German qualifiers, Stefan Stoiker, against Mark Cross. Plenty to look forward to beyond that as well. Holger Retzig making his European Tour debut against Steve West. Jamie Caven and Christian Kist, a match that you're looking forward to, Paul, you mentioned earlier. Andy Jenkins against Devon Peterson also stands out. Max Hopp, the World Youth Champion, against Andy Bolton. One match I'm looking forward to, Reyes against Anderson as well, and Gerwyn Price against Tony Newell to round things off tonight. Should be good.
I'm interested to see how Jamie Caven rebounds from a 10-0 drubbing. Yeah, is the only way to put it really to Michael van Gerwen at the match play. I know that Jamie's got a lot of good fighting qualities and he's been playing very, very well this year. So
60.
What better way to rebound to come to Dusseldorf and put in a hot performance?
Yeah.
But if there's one guy who's going to be cool on that stage, it's going to be Frosty the Throw Man. Let's hope he doesn't melt.
Well, Clayton here is
the
master of his own destiny as far as this particular leg is concerned. But he could do with taking this out because Hamilton might well pounce on 117. Tops
56.
Inch or
That's no good because that leaves 102. He can only set it up now, and he will. And he's going to leave double six.
105.
Well, it's a double.
It's
right next to the one that Johnny Clayton's going for, but he's got to switch to double five. That's not a bad guide. It's a really good guide, I'm sorry.
Johnny Clayton,
he knows that was important because he was under pressure there to stay in the match. Nip and tuck as we go into leg 7.
Yeah, Hamilton, you feel, would have gobbled up that, well, not necessarily gobbled up that double six, but he's certainly gobbling up the treble 20s here.
121.
I'm reading the little idiosyncrasies and the gestures of the guys right now, just picking up on how they feel. And there's a little bit of a pursing of the lips of Johnny Clayton. He's getting into a rhythm, but I'm seeing a licking of the lips of Andy Hamilton. He's liking this fight. Played a million matches like this and come out on top. They're always good when you come out on top, but when you lose 58. Them, they're a bit heartbreaking. One thing I know about Johnny Clayton as well, we were talking earlier about Daryl Gurney in their ability to get the darts close together on a pinhead. Johnny Clayton has that quality with his darts. I don't think that's something that Andy Hamilton has. He's almost like a barrel grouper.
Yeah.
More of a big 140 shooter. Whereas if you look at the way that Johnny Clayton's darts go in, there's a tapering to the dart at the end, and that allows them to get really close. It makes that 60 look huge.
100.
Well, Clayton down to a finish first on the Hamilton throw. The other thing about Clayton as well, he's been doing the nuts and bolts as well as far as, say, things like the Players' Championship Series is concerned as well. Made the quarterfinals of one in May in Coventry. Made the last 16 of 3 in Barnsley as well. You know, picking up the prize money, but just getting into that habit of getting through best of 11 matches as well.
Yeah, winning habit as well. Oh, he gave it a go. Andy had to go for it because Andy Hamilton on a tricky 129 has already taken out 120 in this match. So Johnny doing the right thing by going for that shot. He fancies it, you know. There's only one way to get this, and that's a 60. Ooh, aggressive shot. Look at his face.
Hungry.
He's up for this. He's very hungry.
Johnny, you require 25.
But a chance here for Johnny to break once again. He's got 2 darts at double 8. He only needs 1.
Leg.
It's a clenched fist from the Welshman.
8th leg, and Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Any momentum that Andy Hamilton had has just not evaporated, but it's certainly had a bit shaved off it.
Yeah, Johnny's very good in that bottom left corner of the board. When he misses, it's not by much. The encouraging thing for Andy Hamilton, though, is that the way he started this match, he really has rediscovered something
121
over the last sort of 5 legs.
Yeah.
I think there's a real contrast between these two players as well. Andy Hamilton is grinding.
100.
His facial expressions are giving away how he feels. Johnny Clayton's just getting on with it, doing his normal thing. And Johnny Clayton's from the same area of the world as Gerwin Price. They're polar opposites.
Yeah. Plenty of room here for Hamilton for another.
135.
That's all right for Hammer. 2 visits of 2 treble 20s. Take that most of the time. Johnny Clayton
100.
is playing the ton game. And he's thinking 140 here. What a lovely first dart. Can get it underneath.
Yep.
Just like that.
Absolutely spot on, Paul. Well done. That's brilliant stuff.
139.
Right, sold me short. I said 140 and I got a 139. Obviously 106 to him is more attractive than 105. But Johnny
105.
going away from the tons,
You require
but has left a lovely
106.
2-darter. 96 always looks attractive to a player. And he can only get 1 shot at a double if he hits a 60. And he does, right in that spot again.
14
He's
for
choosing a double 16.
90.
He'll be disappointed with that because
Johnny, you require 90.
he looks to have that flow. Just underneath the treble 20 bet. Won't be finishing here.
56.
I think he did the right
And
thing
you
there because his
require
darts lie
16.
flat. And he could have landed that on top of the first dart to go for double 8 if he'd hit the 60. But Andy's got another chance to win the 8th leg. It's double 8. Great guide. It just kicks to the left a little bit.
One more dart in hand and it's
score.
inside the wire, and you can see now the body language of Andy Hamilton telling a very, very
Johnny, you
different story
require
indeed.
40.
Well, this would be an absolute steal for Clayton. 3 cracks at double 20. That's nudged the wire and
Game
he's just
shot on
come
the 8th leg.
inside.
Johnny Clayton.
And that's really harsh
9th
on
leg
Andy
Andy
Hamilton.
to
Actually,
throw first.
he didn't do a great deal
Game
wrong there,
on.
apart from the closing out business.
That
And
was
Clayton
it.
has a 2-leg cushion here once again for the first time since the start of the match.
We've had some really good high quality darts in this match. But for me, those misses were the biggest thing that's happened in this match so far. Now,
81.
4-4 looks a hell of a lot different to 5-3. Now Johnny Clayton only needs 1 leg to win this match. He's the one who's going to be licking his lips
60.
this time around. But how many times have we seen Andy Hamilton make a comeback? He's the mayor of the biggest comeback in darts. We won't mention everything about it because it involves my ex-pair's partner. And I know he doesn't
60.
like people talking about it, so we'll just leave it at that.
95 average for Clayton, but it's the first 9 average as well, which is pretty telling there. There's a bit of a gap
100.
between the two. Clayton getting out of the blocks quickly, as that suggests. Hamilton thereby struggling to keep pace and having to force the issue.
If you're looking to quantify what a 95 average is, well, a 15 darter is 100.2,
60.
and a 16 dart leg is about 93.9. So it's somewhere between 15 and 16 darts, and that's a good standard.
Yeah. I was always told that
140.
15 darts is like level par in golf, for example. Anything below that, fair enough.
That's exactly what I think, and I think there's a gap in the darting market for a game called golf, and you get 1 player on the hockey,
Yeah.
and 15 darts is a par.
Well, if that's the case,
180.
Andy Hamilton's looking at a birdie here, maybe. Well, it would be a par 15 darts for Andy Hamilton. 120 Shanghai check out.
He's doing it once. In a rather unconventional way, but I tell you what,
Find the third.
go over the top. Johnny Clayton has already hit this in the match. Doesn't hit the treble this time, but he goes for the same double. And he hits it again. That's match over, and Johnny Clayton progresses. A brilliant performance to take out Andy Hamilton, the former world finalist. Andy should be buoyed by some of the darts he played in that match. He played really, really well to put up a fight, but Johnny Clayton ultimately was too good.
Indeed it was, 6-3 the score in that one, and Clayton will meet Terry Jenkins in the second round tomorrow. That brings a conclusion to the afternoon session. We do battle
Johnny
once again
Clayton
from
mit einem
7
6:3
o'clock tonight
Erfolg über den
on the stage here in
Hammer
Dusseldorf.
Andy Hamilton.
First up, Mark Frost against Stefan Stoiker and